Hi, I'm Eric Matson, the CEO of Finovate. I'm very excited to be kicking off MyCard's interviews with all of the innovators here at Finovate Fall in New York. Here are what the innovators are saying are the next big trends in fintech.
Well, I believe the next big trend in financial services will be doing large value transactions online, such as real estate transactions.
I really think the untapped trend is actually savings, because if you look at the rates, 74% of all Americans don't feel comfortable in their retirement savings. Over half of all Americans don't have enough retirement savings for over 6 months of being unemployed in case of emergency. You look at the scales, kind of spending, saving, a lot of times they're side by side, but they're not equally weighted. And so there's all this emphasis on savings, but there hasn't been a system integrated enough that fits American society.
I think the next trend will be a heavily focused, customer-centric approach toward the industry.
We are focused is in customer engagement. The ability to leverage the mobile channel as a direct integration and customer service point, we see as being very, very important for financial services companies to be able to better engage their customers and interact with their customers via the mobile device.
So I think in the future, cloud, automatic tools, applications will be able to forecast your income, your expenses in greatest details.
I think the next big thing in financial services is going to be revolving around people being able to pay with their phone at any merchant in the world.
The next big trend is everyone in the US actually knowing what to do with their money. I think you look today, you look around this country, and folks don't know what to do. You've got this old industry of people kind of looking at your finances, giving you different advice. I think all of that will be computerized. So imagine you go to a website, it can automatically analyze your finances and show you exactly what to do. So I think the cost of getting great advice is going to go down. It's going to be much easier. And I think this industry of financial planning will still exist. People will still need great advice, but the cost and the ease is going to go down, really using computers' power to change this for people.
I think the next big trend in financial services is going to be around very personalized financial services, specifically around using social ways to pay, social ways to authenticate and prove who we are. I think those are going to be some trends.
I think the big trend in financial services is going to be a unique shift purely to mobile, whether it's authentication of new identities, whether it's payments, or it's actually use of personal finance. I think it's going to be a purely mobile industry.
More and more companies are actually moving towards mobile as their primary interface point with the customer. We believe that the customer and the financial institutions need to be communicating to each other in the context of their everyday lives in terms of simple answers to complex questions.
I think the big theme now are two things. One is a shifting of lending risk and responsibility away from banks to non-bank lenders. Non-bank lenders are more flexible to meet the needs of consumers for responsible low-rate loans.
I believe in this aspect called ephemeralization. That is, things get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they disappear. Like just in the telecom space where we had telephony switches got bigger and bigger, and then suddenly we had wireless, and everything was invisible, right? So I think in the future what we're going to see is more invisible forms of security.
The combination of social and also combining various components of existing financial technologies and making them easy to integrate within various accounting situations or management situations across devices. So it's more about taking what's good out there and bringing it all together at an easy interface across all devices.
It's all going to be about making investing easy, making investing more intuitive. It's about taking out the friction, these costs in investing. You're going to see, we've already seen investing costs go down dramatically, and I don't think we've seen anything yet. I think the world is going to change, and it's going to change from the ground up, and it's going to be these fees will go away, and there'll be other interesting models where you will pay for advice, but you won't necessarily pay for friction that's in the system.
So I believe the next big trend in financial services is actually going to be in social finance. We're going to see a movement, especially as the Gen 1 and Gen 1 transfers funds down to Gen 2 and Gen 3, in how we approach how our money actually works for us. And as a society, we're going to start looking at really what's happening with our dollars and cents. And I believe that we'll be thinking about more on the social side of things as well as on the financial return side of things.
I believe the next major innovation within the financial services is going to be clearly articulated around identity and the security of that identity.
You see more and more banking moving away from simple transactional focused banking and more evolving to a whole engagement banking apps where the customer really has a relationship with the bank and interacts directly, online but mostly via mobile devices.
I think it's going to be mostly around biometrics and around contactless payments. Those are probably the two ripe areas for innovation.
One of the big trends in the next few years is probably API platforms.
Is that at the moment banks are not really utilizing their channels effectively to cross-sell products and services to their customers, and at the same time they're not actually giving the customer the experience that customers are looking for. So I think the next big trend will be around just delivering just that. So on one side you're actually giving the customers a fantastic experience, and at the same time you're capitalizing on that experience by generating revenue from those customers.